Hi again then guys, and welcome to another Forza Horizon 3 speed setup, and this time we're going for a pretty popular JDM car and also just a strong rally based sedan as well, the Mitsubishi Evo, in particular for this build the Evo VIII. We have covered some other Evos already and we will be covering more in the future as well, like the Evo IX for instance, but for now we're focusing on that Evo VIII. Now, as you can see from the visuals, I've gone for a very rally-inspired look. It's got the WRC colours, the rally-inspired lights, body kit, wing, scoop, etc. But, although it looks like a rally car, it's more about performance, especially top-end performance in terms of the tune. The visuals are rally, but that's the only thing about this car that is based in rallying. Now, of course, you can swap and change things to purpose it more for on-road or off-road performance, but this is primarily, in its current form, for on-road performance. Now, as you can see, I've gone for the V8 conversion. Kind of sacrilegious to JDM fans, but that gives you the best numbers to work with. As far as drivetrain, of course, I would recommend keeping the all-wheel drive. Aspiration, I would recommend twin-turbo, pretty obviously again. For the visuals, you've got loads of options. There are loads of different body kits, lights, wings, etc. to choose from, so that's totally down to you. If you get this one from my storefront, using the keywords in the video description, you will get the car looking exactly like this, of course, without the paint job. And then as far as the rest, if you're doing it yourself, do whatever visuals you want, then just fit everything that improves the car in terms of performance, performance index points, power, lower the weight, all that kind of good stuff. As you can see, we do have the roll cage in this car. It's one of the rarer occasions where I fit one to a newer vehicle. Because with an Evo, even in straight line performance terms, you still always want a little bit of handling there as well. And that's the main purpose of the roll cage in this build. Now, as you can see, the numbers are surprisingly good in terms of top speed in particular for a car that at the end of the day is not designed for top end speed. But 2.5 seconds to 60 is good, 4.8 to 100 is good to say the least, and the top speed of 258 is very impressive for, as I said, a car that is rally bred at the end of the day. Now, for the gearbox, I would recommend a final drive of 2.7, then individual gears of 2.9, 1.99, 1.5, 1.17, 0.95 and 0.78. So that'll be a familiar setup to people who have used my tunes before. As far as alignment, you know the drill if you've been on the channel before. Neutral camber and toe, unless you specifically want some. 4 degrees of caster, kind of midway between loose and stiff steering. Adjust it as required. For anti-roll, I've rounded those off to 39 and 32. Springs to 175 and 144. I've opted for 15 centimeters of ride height, so it's not slammed, but it's not overly high. It's close to stock, if not stock, so that's down to you as to whether you want it high or low. Dampers we've got on 15, 12, 7 and 5. Aero doesn't apply. And as far as the diff, as we usually do, I've got 100% on acceleration, 0 on decel, but as I've said before, that won't necessarily work for everyone, so feel free to change those numbers. If you already know a setup that works better for you, go for that, or just play around. And then as far as the centre split, we've got 75% in favour of the back end, so it's still very much an all-wheel drive car in the truest sense, but having that 25% going to the front and 75% to the back allows you to get more tail happy with it, especially with over 1,000 horsepower on tap. As I said, you can find this tune on my storefront, but now let's take it out on the road to see how fast it can actually go. Now, as I've said, of course, with other rally-bred vehicles, top-end performance is not this car's primary directive, so whatever top-end performance you can get is a bonus, really, because it's not intended for that. In the case of this car, the top-end performance in terms of benchmark, or on paper, is very good. 258 is not bad at all, but it does struggle to get to that kind of speed. You can get up to 240 pretty quickly. And in most scenarios, that's more than good enough. To get that extra bit of speed, you do need a little bit of a downhill section, maybe a bit of slipstream, or just a very open road to eventually get there. It can reach that speed, but it doesn't get there as easily as some other builds which we've done. But overall, it's still extremely quick, and it does have that potential overall. But that's it for this tune. I hope you have a lot of fun with it, and there are plenty more on the channel. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.